What's going on YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Litecoin. Right now we're sitting at $169. We're down 1.92%. What I want to do, I want to bring 5 different things to you today while we're looking at Litecoin with this price action, because right now what we're dealing with, we had tweezer tops, which we're going to zoom into, but we had tweezer tops on the 1-day time frame, and that happened right around $182. And this is an important area because you can see this is a major resistance area. So we're having those tweezer tops into that resistance area, and we're also losing a little bit of strength on the RSI right now. So if we zoom into this, and I point this out here, you can see this is twice now that we tried to get up through that $182, which was our third target, and we failed. You can see the next day, so what we had here was almost like a doji candle, and then we ended up having a high wave candle, and what we're looking for today is to see if we have negative follow through. So a bearish candle to the downside. So if we're not able to hold about $169 as support, I would look down first to that 20 EMA, and that's going to be around $142. And that's how quick it can happen in this space when we do get these retracements. You can see many times we'll come back to that 20 EMA before we get moving again, sometimes even down to this 50 EMA right here are 2 instances for you, and then we got moving again. So if we go down to that 20 EMA, that's going to be around $142. We want to hold as support. If we went down to the 50, you can also see I have an alert and alarm here at $119. And this isn't financial advice, but for the longer term, I think that would be really great buying opportunities for longer term investors if you do start seeing Litecoin down around that 100 again, 120, 130, right in that range. And what a lot of people like to do, they'll start and say, okay, I feel comfortable buying Litecoin around the 50 EMA. If we get back down, they'll put bids here because we get really long wicks, like down into here. And sometimes it'll go right back to that moving average, and then you get moving again. So putting buy orders down in this area. And then if you're able to catch them, you can see what type of a bounce you get out of that and trail it up with a stop loss. That's what I like to do. It's a fun thing to do, guys, trading these altcoins. I mean, they're just so explosive. But overall, what I would recommend is having a small trading account, and then in this space, because we're in a bull market, whenever you do get these nice deep retracements, if you're able to, you don't want to overextend yourself, but that's where you add a little bit. And then once it goes back up again, comes back down, you add a little bit more when you're in bull markets. When you're in bear markets, you don't want to be doing that. Unless you're playing a quick reaction play to the upside, trail it with a stop loss. It's going to be on low volume, then it's going to dump again on you. But it's the opposite in a bull market. But we may be due for some type of correction here fairly soon. You can see back in here when we had our corrections. You can see back in here when we had our corrections, we pushed up to around about $70. Then we had our first wave down. We had a little reaction to the upside here, another push down, reaction back up, then another push down. And that was our 5-wave cycle there, and then we got moving to the upside. So you could see these corrections, and what I also want to do is throw a Fibonacci on here for us. And also, guys, if you get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, try to help people out, try to be as level-headed as we can while we're looking at the markets. We don't want to FOMO, and we want to look for those great buying opportunities when we're in bull markets. So what we're seeing now on the Fibonacci right here, when we came out of our correction from the low up to the high, if we came back to the 0.236, that'd be around $128. You can see the 0.382, that's a common spot. That's all the way back down around $100. 0.5 is at 87, and many times we can even get 0.618 corrections, and that's back down to around $73. I'm saying this, guys, is looking at potential buying opportunities for the longer term as you're looking at this, but this is that type of correction. So what I always like to do, just to give you a little heads up here, so I'll take the price range and I'll look at one of the previous corrections that we had. So that was about 32%. If we do 32% from where we're at now, so say we had a drop 32%, we'll pull this down. That would put us right around that alarm area that I had. So we roughly look at about $115. If we get another correction like that, and it's healthy for the market, it's healthy for the market to breathe so that we can keep pumping back up. Right? We don't want to just go straight up. We've talked about that before. We don't want a big bubble pop. We want this to be a nice, healthy trend where we can really gain value in the long term. But what you have to pay attention to here on the 1-day time frame, you can see price going up, but the RSI, you actually have a little bit of that negative divergence due to the fact that our RSI got up to around 80 and our price was about 125. And you can see now our price is up there around about $170, and the RSI currently right now sitting around 73. So it's something we do just want to keep an eye on here. And as we work through the time frames, go to the 12 and tell me what you're doing with Litecoin, guys. Have you been doing a little bit of trading? Have you been doing some hodling? Are you buying when you get these nice retracements? I'd love to hear it down low. You got Litecoin people are awesome, always giving tons of thumbs up, lots of views and everything. I really appreciate it because like we talked about, that's where we started our channel with Litecoin. I saw the potential in Litecoin and I just wanted to start from there, really trying to teach myself this stuff. So I appreciate it. But what you see here, guys, same deal. You can see these tweezer tops again at that exact area, and this is why support and resistance is so important. Then when we fell, you can see we wicked down to that 20. So that's why sometimes putting those buy orders down there, you can pick them up on those real fast wicks to the downside. It's always fun to do. But what you can see on the 12 here, we're about ready to get a MACD cross to the downside, losing a little bit of strength on the RSI. If we take a look at the 4-hour, you can see about 3 wicks here. We tried to get over 182 and we have not been able to. We've just been consolidating sideways right now, lower volume. Same deal, price was moving up, RSI is moving down there. We're in bearish territory there for the MACD. We have not had that upside cross yet. Again, histogram in the negative for the 4-hour time frame. And then if we move to the 1-hour time frame, take a look at this. It's more just consolidating sideways. If you can see this here, just really moving sideways. So that's what we're going to have to watch. If this is all we're going to do, because sometimes we can be so bullish that we just move sideways, cool everything down a little bit, then we pump again, and we don't really get that full retracement. But we're going to have to be patient and wait and see. But you can see we're losing a little bit of strength there on the 1-hour as well. If we drew a trend line right there, we're at 47 overall on the RSI. If we get into the technicals, for Litecoin right now, we're actually going to look at the 1-day and the 4-hour. So on the 1-day, we're looking at a 4 sell, 7 neutral, 17 buy. Oscillators, 3 sell, 6 neutral, and a 2 buy. Our stochastic is going to be a sell. Commodity index is going to be a sell. Stochastic RSI fast is going to be a sell. The rest is basically neutral right in that area. And then if we look at the 4-hour time frame, definitely a little more neutral. Like we were talking about how we're moving sideways, we're looking at a 9 sell, a 10 neutral, and a 9 buy. Oscillators, a 2 sell, 9 neutral, and a 0 buy. And also I was going to ask you guys while I have people here at the end of the video, what is your prediction? So if we do end up getting this massive Litecoin cycle like we'd all love to see, and we continue this moving to the upside here, what is your target on Litecoin? Are you thinking $300 all-time high, or like previous all-time high, that 300, 350? Are you thinking 500? Do you think we have the potential to hit 1,000? Are we going to overperform, underperform? I would love to hear your take down low, because my take is if we can get over top of that all-time high that we previously had, it's going to be blue sky breakouts, and then that really could get things extreme, and then that's when you potentially could see, you know, a $500,000 Litecoin down the road. You know, guys, that's when a lot of money gets pumped into that. Litecoin, I think the circulating supply right now is around 66 million. So when, you know, money goes into that, it can really pump hard because there's not a ton of them, like some of the coins that are in the billions and billions, you know, because there's only so much money in the market. And that's what I don't think some people understand. There's only so much money that's going to come into the cryptocurrency space. So when it does come into your coin, if you have a little bit smaller a coin that has a smaller market cap, then it's going to be able to move in a greater gain than some of the other coins that have just massive amounts. So that's something I like to pay attention to, guys. Let me know down low. So in the short term, a little bit more bearish here. We may need to cool down a little bit more, move sideways a little bit more, but in the longer term macro sense, looking great, very bullish. So take care, guys. God bless you all.